What does your environment create? Good morning, family. So this is Reginald Martin of Metaphysics, Sacred Alchemy, where ancient wisdom becomes modern awakening. So I'm doing this after a while that I was a little bit ill, so just dealing with some bronchitis. So if anybody is not familiar with bronchitis, it's a respiratory disease where, for me, it causes me to just like cough incessantly. I mean, just like, man, it's not completely debilitating, but the coughing, man, it gets to where it really like starts to get your chest to burning because your throat and everything, your esophagus is raw from coughing so much. So, but at any rate, I'm finally getting over it. I'm still, it usually can take me from 2 weeks to a month to get over it completely. So I'm still not out of the woods yet, but I'm getting there. So I'm more functional now. So, but at any rate, but it got me to thinking about just the illness itself, because I'm a big believer that we're creators of our reality, and our body and our illnesses, stuff like that is something that is an extension really of our belief systems, so our inner environment is being projected in some kind of way, whether it be our physical form, whether it be disease, whatever it is, and I find it really interesting on a number of levels, because when I was younger, I suffered from asthma, and the doctors say that, or at least the doctors that I've been to have told me that the bronchitis and the asthma are not connected. But intuitively, something's just not right about that, because they're both respiratory diseases, and I'm having, even though I stopped having asthma attacks when I was probably around 12 years old. They say I grew out of it. Later in life, I started having bronchitis issues, and sure enough, the bronchitis and the asthma, I have them all. They both occurred at the same times of the year. So I'd have the asthma attacks, usually at the beginning of spring when I was younger, and then the bronchitis comes at the same time. So that just tells me something, that there's something that's related there, even though medical science, is telling me that it's not. But how I can say that is that when it comes to our belief systems, our inner environment, again, is just being projected outwardly as the illness. And sorry, so still dealing with it a little bit. But the inner environment is being projected outward, so that's what's happening as the illness. So and because it is a rhythmic cycle, so to speak, it happens at the same time of the year. So everything in nature has this cycle and has its rhythms, and even with just nature itself, you think about the springtime, flowers bloom, in the springtime. In the winter, they die. It's just a rhythmic cycle. It's just nature. And even in the ancient teachings, they made a lot of the stuff that we worship today. It was really about the rhythmic cycle of nature, just whether it's, farming, planting stuff and harvesting it. It was about a rhythmic cycle. And now I just drew a blank. The bronchitis, for me, it's about a rhythmic cycle. And I know that on some level, it is based in my beliefs. So it is an illness in the sense of there is something that I carry, a belief system that I've carried for a long time, obviously since I was a child. There's some level about the respiratory system that is impacted by that belief. Okay, and family, I haven't like really like sat down and like gave that a whole lot of thought at this point, because I just have a lot of other shit on my mind. But it is what it is. I'm going up a big hill right now, so I'm breathing. So that's where I'm coming from and heading towards. But anyway, when I'm doing this power walking, man, it's just you get the breathing. But anyway, so it's what is the environment, or what am I creating that's creating that respiratory problem? And that's the questions that I start to ask myself about it, and what is going on with it, because again, ultimately we create the reality. The illness is a reflection of a belief system, and whether I can heal it or not, that's going to be based on me figuring out what this respiratory issue is about, okay, on a deeper level. So just to me, just some still trying to walk, because this bronchitis is still messing with me, but at any rate, it is what it is. So I won't let it keep me down for long. Just I've always believed whenever I start to get ill, man, I need to get moving. So, but and I'm not a sickly person, so man, deja vu like for real right now. But I'm not a sickly person, so very seldom do I get ill to where I'm just incapacitated. I can't think of too many times that's ever happened. Maybe for a day or two or something, but I get moving and I get it out. So get it out of me. So, but it is what it is. But so I'm back up, family. So I'm back up and moving around. Not that I had stopped moving. I went to the pizza thing the other last week or week before last, and the bronchitis again, it doesn't just knock me down, but man, I get to coughing and hacking, and coming out of that COVID deal, you start coughing and people still look at you funny. so I have to be cognizant of that, but luckily that event was outside, and as long as I'm outside, it helps with the coughing. So I guess the moisture in the air or something, I don't know what it is, but it ends up helping it. But anyway, family, so just letting you know I'm okay, I'm good, and just thinking about that illness, from a spiritual level, from a metaphysical perspective, and what that might could be. So I'll be talking to y'all another time, okay? Y'all have an amazing day. And for everybody that did check on me, I was wondering, why I hadn't did videos in a while, I also wanted to say thank you for taking the time to do that. It really it makes a brother feel good, that people, even, if I'm not out in front and doing videos all the time, that you still think about me and care about what's happening with me. So thank you for all of you that did take the time to check in on me. All right, family. Y'all have an amazing day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.